Learn English with English Thing Lab.
Hi everyone, I'm Jack. Today we're going to talk about something that looks very easy, but for many learners, it's actually stressful. Introducing yourself in English.
Yes, it's funny because people can speak about many things, but when they need to say a few sentences about themselves, they suddenly stop. They think too much. They don't know how to start.
Exactly. So let's make this very simple. Imagine you meet someone for the first time. You don't need a long speech. You just need a few clear and friendly sentences.
Right. And the best way to start is always your name. In real life, people don't say long formal sentences. They just say, "Hi, I'm Bella." That's it. Short, natural, and friendly.
And that hi is important. It makes your introduction warmer. Without it, it can sound a little cold. So something like, "Hi, I am Jack," already feels like a real conversation.
After that, people usually want to know where you're from. And here, many learners make it more complicated than it needs to be. You don't need special grammar. Just say, "I'm from," and your country.
Yes, keep it simple. For example, "I'm from Turkey" or "I'm from Spain." This is one of the most common and useful sentences in English.
And sometimes there is a small but important detail. You are from one place, but you live in another place now. That's very common, especially for students or people who move to another country.
Exactly. So you can add one more sentence. "I live in," and then the city. This makes your introduction more real and more personal.
For example, you can say, "Hi, I'm Bella. I'm from Italy, but I live in Berlin." You see? It's still very simple, but now it sounds complete.
And notice something important here. The word "but." It helps you connect your ideas. You show a difference, your country and your current city.
Yes, and you don't need to use many connectors. Just and but are enough at this level. They already make your English sound more natural.
Also, don't worry about perfect sentences. Many learners stop because they want everything to be perfect. But in real conversations, people speak simply.
That's true. Clear and simple English is always better than complicated and broken English.
Another small tip: try to say your sentences smoothly, not word by word. Think of it like one idea. For example, instead of stopping after every word, say the whole sentence like one piece.
Yes, like a small story about you, your name, your country, and where you live now. That's already enough for a first impression.
And don't forget your voice. Even if your English is simple, your tone can make it sound confident or shy.
Exactly. If you speak slowly and clearly, people will understand you, and you will feel more confident.
So if we look at it together, you don't need many words, just a few simple pieces of information.
Your name, where you're from, and where you live now.
That's your first step. A clean, simple introduction.
In the next part, we will make it more interesting. We will add your job or your studies.
So your introduction doesn't stop at basic information.
Stay with us.
All right, now you can say your name and where you're from. That's a good start. But if you stop there, the conversation can feel a little short. People usually want to know one more thing: what you do in your daily life.
Yes, This is where your introduction becomes more interesting. And again, you don't need difficult sentences, you just need to answer a very simple question. What do you do?
Exactly. And here, learners often get confused. They think they need long explanations, but in real life, people answer in a very simple way.
For example, if you have a job, you can say, I work as a, and then your job, like, I work as a designer or I work as a teacher.
And if you're a student, it's even easier. You can say, I'm a student. Or you can add more detail. I'm a student at a university.
Yes, and if you want to sound a little more natural, you can add what you study. For example, I study business or I study English.
So now your introduction is growing step by step. First your name, then where you're from, and now what you do.
Let's imagine a simple example. You meet someone and say, Hi, I'm Bella. I'm from Italy, but I live in Berlin. I'm a student and I study marketing.
That already sounds like a real person, not just basic information, but a small picture of your life.
And if you are working, you can say something like, Hi, I'm Jack. I'm from Canada and I live in Toronto. I work as a graphic designer.
Notice something important. We are still using very simple grammar. Present simple. No complicated structures.
Yes, because at this level, simple is perfect. You don't need more.
Another small tip. You can also talk about your daily routine in one short sentence.
For example, I work during the day, or I study in the morning.
Or even, I work from home. That's very common now.
Yes, these small details make your introduction more natural. It feels like real life, not like a textbook.
But be careful. Don't say too many things. Keep it short and clear.
Exactly. Think of your introduction like a short message, not a long story.
Also, your tone is important here too. If you sound relaxed, your English sounds better.
And don't worry if you make a small mistake. People don't expect perfect English. They just want to understand you.
So now, if we build it together, you have
Your name,
where you're from
where you live,
and what you do.
that's already a strong introduction.
In the next part, we will add personality and interests.
So you don't sound like a robot, but like a real person.
All right, now your introduction has the basics. People know your name, where you're from, and what you do. But something is still missing. You as a person.
Exactly. Because information is not the same as personality. If you only say facts, it sounds a little dry. But when you talk about what you like, everything changes.
And the good news is, this part is actually very easy. You don't need difficult grammar. You just need simple phrases like, I like or I enjoy.
Yes, this is one of the best ways to sound natural. For example, you can say, I like music, or I enjoy watching movies.
Or something very simple like, I like traveling or I like spending time with my friends.
And notice something important. You don't need long sentences. Even one small idea is enough to show your personality.
Exactly. Because now the other person can connect with you. Maybe they also like music or movies or travel.
Another nice thing you can do is add a small detail, not just I like music, but maybe I like calm music or I like pop music.
Yes, details make your English feel more real, more human.
Also, you can talk about your habits in a simple way. For example, I read a lot, or I watch movies in the evening.
Or I spend a lot of time online. That's very real these days.
Very real.
And again, keep everything simple. Present simple tense is enough. You don't need to explain everything.
Yes, think of it like giving small pieces of information, not a long story, just little windows into your life.
Let's imagine a full example now. Something like, Hi, I'm Jack. I'm from Canada and I live in Toronto. I work as a designer. I like music and I watch movies in my free time.
You see, it still sounds easy, but now it feels complete. We know what you do and also what you enjoy.
And that makes conversations easier because now the other person can ask you questions.
Yes, that's very important. Your introduction is not the end, it's the start of a conversation.
So when you say, I like traveling, the other person can say, Oh, really? Where do you go?
And now you are talking. That's the goal.
So don't think of your introduction as something you memorize. Think of it as something you build. Step by step,
Name, country, job, and now interests.
simple blocks. But together they create something natural.
In the next part, we will show you how to connect all these ideas smoothly.
So your introduction flows like real English.
Stay with us.
All right, now you have all the pieces. Your name, where you're from, what you do, and what you like. But if you say them one by one, it can sound a little robotic.
Yes, like a list. I'm Bella. I'm from Italy. I live in Berlin. I'm a student. It's correct, but it doesn't sound like real conversation.
Exactly. In real English, people connect their ideas. They don't stop after every sentence, they make it flow.
And the good news is, you don't need many words to do this. Just a few simple connectors can change everything.
The most important one is and. It helps you add information in a smooth way.
For example, instead of stopping, you can say, I'm from Italy and I live in Berlin. Now it sounds more natural.
Another very useful word is but. You use it when there is a contrast.
Yes, like when your country and your current city are different. I'm from Turkey, but I live in Germany.
That one small word makes your sentence feel alive.
You can also use so, but keep it simple. For example, I study English, so I practice every day.
Very natural, very real.
Another important point is your rhythm. Don't rush, but don't stop too much either.
Think of your introduction like one small story. It should move forward, not stop every second.
Yes, your voice should go up and down a little, not flat, not like reading a list.
Also, small pauses are okay, but they should feel natural, not forced.
And one more thing, breathing. Many learners forget to breathe when they speak.
That's true. Then they feel stressed. Just relax, take a small breath, and continue.
Let's imagine two versions.
First version, not very natural. I'm Jack. I'm from Canada. I live in Toronto. I work as a designer.
Second version, more natural. Hi, I'm Jack. I'm from Canada, and I live in Toronto. I work as a designer, and I really like music.
You see the difference? Same information, but different feeling.
More connected, more human.
And that's exactly what we want.
So don't try to use difficult words. Just connect your ideas with and but.
And speak like you are talking to a real person, not reading a script.
In the next part, we will give you a full example
A real, complete introduction.
so you can listen and practice.
All right. Now you have everything you need. You know how to start, how to add information, and how to connect your ideas. So now let's put everything together.
Yes, think of this as your first real introduction. Not perfect, not complicated, just natural and clear.
I'll give a full example first. Just listen and imagine this is a real situation.
Like meeting someone for the first time.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jack. I'm from Canada and I live in Toronto. I work as a graphic designer and I really enjoy music. In my free time, I watch movies and spend time with my friends.
You see, nothing difficult. Simple sentences. But it sounds complete and natural.
Now let's break it down a little. First, I say my name, then where I'm from, then where I live.
After that, you talk about your job, and finally, something personal. What you like to do.
Yes, like a small story about yourself.
Now let me try one.
Go for it.
Hi, I'm Bella. I'm from Italy, but I live in Berlin. I'm a student, and I study marketing. I like traveling, and I enjoy meeting new people.
That sounds very natural.
And again, nothing complicated.
Now, here's something important. Don't try to memorize one perfect introduction.
Yes, because real life is different every time. Sometimes you say more, sometimes less.
Think of it like building blocks. You can change parts depending on the situation.
Exactly. Maybe today you talk more about your job. Tomorrow you talk more about your hobbies.
And that's how real conversations work.
Now, one small challenge for you.
Try to create your own introduction.
Use these parts: your name, where you're from, where you live, what you do, and one thing you like.
Keep it simple. Don't overthink.
And say it out loud. That's very important.
Yes, speaking is the key.
You can even record yourself and listen.
That's a great way to improve.
And if you practice a little every day, this will become very easy for you.
Soon you won't think about it. You will just speak.
And that's the goal.
Thank you for being with us today.
We hope this helps you feel more confident.
See you in the next episode.
Take care and keep speaking English.